And that's where we find our Stephen Clark, where security is on high alert. Stephen, good evening.
Good evening, Glenda. Dave, thank you very much. Yes, the high alert because of that threat that we've been talking about for the last 48 hours, and we're learning more tonight about the threat and the source of that threat that has kept us all on edge here for the last couple of days. Now, we understand that a CIA asset that is considered usually reliable told the CIA that two men, possibly Arab Americans, were given orders by Al-Qaeda to set off a car bomb, either here in the city of Manhattan, probably close to Ground Zero tomorrow, or in New York City, or in Washington, rather, specifically targeting tunnels or bridges. Now, that source, again, is considered to be usually reliable, so that set everybody, all law enforcement, on edge and started searching everything coming into this city and in Washington also. Now, normally security would have been tight for this 10th anniversary, but it got even tighter. So there really has been virtually no truck, especially that has come into the city over the last couple of days without getting a pretty close looking over. And here at Ground Zero, security is extra tight. Police checking all sorts of vehicle traffic in this whole area has been really choked down to hardly a trickle, and by morning there'll be no traffic down here at all. Of course, all eyes tomorrow are on this ceremony that will include the president and former President Bush, a lot of the survivors, a lot of the victims' families, and a whole bunch of other people down here at Ground Zero. Then that memorial will be open to the public on September 12th. But a Detroit area woman got a chance, a very, very honorable chance today to check out Ground Zero's memorial before anybody else, primarily because she is supplying some of what you'll see when you visit the memorial.
It was surreal.
Ann Maley has been in a place few have been, but millions will visit in the years to come. Ground Zero.
It's just a honor beyond anything I can possibly explain.
Ann's Rochester Hills-based company, A Family Tree, supplied tags like these called tree huggers that will mark each tree in the 9/11 memorial.
It's absolutely, and I know everyone uses that word, but overwhelming.
It's not open to the public until Monday, but she got the chance to come to New York and tour the monument this weekend.
And there's like a major peaceful feeling going on. All the people that were there were a lot of police officers there, and everyone was silent. So I think it's going to be a real silent place to be.
She says the huge waterfalls and fountains inscribed with the victims' names are impressive, but this, the survivor tree, which survived the collapse of the World Trade Center, really signifies the human spirit.
And you're going to see the nubby bark. That's when it was alive and thriving in 2001. And now the new shoots are all smooth. And it's a new tree growth. And it's amazing how much has grown in 10 years. And so you see the before and the after.
Now, during that ceremony tomorrow, we'll get a little chance via television to see some of those sites. And again, it opens to the public on September 12th. By the way, we'll be covering live that whole ceremony tomorrow with the presidents as they're here, live streaming that on WXYZ.com. Also, I'll be down there on the grounds blogging on WXYZ.com throughout the entire morning. And then we'll be back here again tomorrow night, Glenda and Dave, with a wrap-up of this whole day tomorrow, which promises to be very emotional.
And Stephen, we know you were there covering the tragedy shortly after it happened. So what are the differences you see and feel in the atmosphere now, a decade later?
Well, we've gone through phases. The first, obviously, the first year, within the first couple of days, shock. I mean, everybody was in absolute shock. Then that kind of mutated over the next couple of years to anger. And now it's kind of come down to moving forward. And I think a lot of people are very happy to see this monument back here finally get going. It took 10 long years to get this thing going. A lot of arguing, a lot of bickering. They've finally gotten past that. They've accomplished getting this thing done now, and it'll be completely done within a couple of years. And perhaps then people feel they can move on. Odd mood down here tonight. I've never seen a city so large with so many people down there be so quiet. It is very, very strange.
All right, Stephen, thank you very much for your live report from New York tonight.